Fuck it, I straight up gang. I straight up gang. I straight up gang. I straight up gang. Fuck it.
Unlike the racism that exists elsewhere in the world, where it's one race oppressing the other race, in Jamaica, it's one race oppressing themselves. You might ask yourself, what do you mean by this? According to Google and censuses done in the past, Jamaica's black population is at about 92 to 93%, the entire population. And usually in cases like this where the population is so heavily skewed to one race, you would expect to see at least most of the upper class, or what is considered the upper class of society, to be dominated by that said population. However, Jamaica is different. You will never see a Mr. Chin, you'll never see a Mr. Singh, and you'll never see a Mr. Abdullah in the ghetto. Those people are usually firmly placed in the upper crust of society. Most of the industrial leaders, the movers and shakers of Jamaican society, are not black or black descendant people. If we want to count black descendant people, Jamaica is roughly 98%, pushing 99% black. In the country that the great Bob Marley come from, that said, you should free yourself from mental slavery. Never has existed a country so deeply mired in its own mental slavery that to tell them otherwise, people will even kill you for it. I'm sure in the comments now you'll find a person telling you no, that Jamaica is not racist and that our motto is out of many one people and we accept everybody. Yes, Jamaica is a country that accepts everybody, but Jamaica is a country that accepts everybody, especially if you're not black. Look under the post of any Haitian refugees or any refugees coming from any other black country coming to Jamaica, and the comments will read or tell you exactly about the mindset of Jamaican people. Now, racism is a thing that can manifest in many forms, whether it be the violent racism of places like Jim Crow US, or dictatorial and hypocritical racism like in apartheid South Africa. But Jamaican racism, just like most things about Jamaica, is special and unique. Like how you have our music, reggae, we dancehall, and it's unique. And we have runners and our athletes and stuff, and they can have world-class performances. Well, Jamaican racism is world-class. Like white people in the US and Europe would love to have Jamaican racism. Jamaicans, and specifically black Jamaicans, are one of the only group of people that will raise another group above themselves based on the color of their skin. In contrast, Jamaican black people are very proud black people and mostly proud of their skin color and the link to Africa. But Jamaicans have a problem unique to Jamaica that runs silently throughout Jamaican society. No term exists for this problem, but the closest thing I can probably draw parallels to is the idea of clout. Because Jamaica is a country where, as mentioned before, it's mostly 92 to 98% black people, we usually see much of the same. So where you can exhibit a little of difference of anything, whether it is you come with curly hair, you come with a lighter complexion, Jamaicans are more likely to put you on a pedestal. Now, clout comes in many different forms in Jamaica. You have intellectual clout, where you are raised above others based on your titles and your degree, your achievements, education-wise and otherwise. So you can be a millionaire in Jamaica, yet someone with the title of Dr. So-and-so and Professor so-and-so and the Right Honorable so-and-so and so-and-so will always have more societal clout than you, the man with the whole heap of money. The biggest form of clout you can have in Jamaica, bigger than even the doctor, the professor so-and-so, is the clout of being a different skin color than the majority of the population. It is not something that is done purposely, as in, oh, white is better than black. But as a certain small little YouTuber say, Jamaica is a society of jesters who put value in the wrong things. Jamaica is a racist, wet dream. Can you imagine a society where you don't have to go to your extra way to have any red lining or do any of those stuff that they do in America to segregate black people from them? Black people in Jamaica will do it themselves. You don't have to ask them. Jamaica is a society where you can elevate through the society and skin color alone. In less than 5 years, a peasant from another country that was living dirt poor in their own country could come to Jamaica and become a literal billionaire. And people from abroad will come and see this and they're saying, oh, the Chinese and the South Americans, they will say, oh, they're taking over Jamaica. It isn't because they're taking over Jamaica per se. It is because of this self-hate of Jamaican people that are elevating these people above even themselves. There are thousands of homeless white people living in the US on the road. If you were to take one of those homeless white people, as a matter of fact, and put them at the head of your business in Jamaica, you would see how fast your business thrives. You'd see how much business connections you would make. You'd see how much loans that you couldn't get access to that would be open and available to you. And this is a known open secret in Jamaica, and people just accept it as a reality of living in Jamaica. It isn't that Jamaican people are lazy or unable to do what these foreigners do. It is because of the mindset. I'll give you an example. In 2015, there was an incident where a mentally ill white man threw a bag over the wall of the US Embassy. Now, I know there were many conspiracies surrounding that, but that's not for today. However, that mentally ill man that threw the bag over the US Embassy wall had been living on Lincoln Road in one of the toughest neighborhoods in Kingston. He had just moved into the neighborhood, making all kind of trouble, drinking all the time, destruction of property in the neighborhood, until he eventually went and threw the bag over the walls of the US Embassy.
Is my sisters. They go to party and they meet him and he comes here more than one time, and that's how we get to get familiar with him, and that's how we actually know him.
These pictures which we obtained showed a shirtless Kane after he had allegedly kicked his way from his room to the adjoining bar. He had to be removed from the bar on Tuesday night while in a fit, but we were informed in his happier times he would be at the bar having his favorite drink of rum and boom.
And him drink rum hard and him smoke very hard. You know, it's like when him drink the rum too, him go on with a bag of things. And it's like nobody can control him. And we try to tell him, if you can't behave yourself, you never can stay here.
No. If this was a black Jamaican man, you couldn't just move into the community and start create hell in the community and the people from the community not deal with you or get somebody to deal with you. That is the mindset that I'm talking about. That man, while he was living on Lincoln Road, nobody did anything to him. Everybody laugh and talk. But let you, as a strange Jamaican black person, move into the community and you get dealt with differently. I guess you can call this one the Chet Hanks effect. Like, Jamaican people are so entertained by another group, another skin color, doing what is normal to us, making a fool of our culture.
Big up the whole island massive. It's your boy Chetana, coming straight from the Golden Gloves, you want to say? Me father Tom Hanks presenting in a white, soon forward come. Big up, tune in.
If Chet Hanks moved to Jamaica tomorrow, Jamaican people would raise him up as a king. Going back to the point I was making earlier, as it regards to supporting your own and Jamaican support of other black Jamaicans. There are two wholesales side by side together on Mullines Road. One run by a Chinese and one run by a Jamaican black man. During regular working hours, let's say from 8 to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., the wholesale with the Chinese, or the one that the Chinese own rather, is always full with people. People are always supporting them. Now when that wholesale close and the Chinese people take up themselves and gone back to them big house in Cherry Gardens or wherever they live, that's when you see people, the local people from the same community, supporting the black owned wholesale when the Chinese people close. That's when you see the black man wholesale packed, because the black man is still living in that community. His wholesale is open longer, and when there's no other choice, that is the only time black people, especially Jamaican black people, will support their own. And this is just a microcosm of the bigger society. Jamaican black people will never support another black man's business. If there's a brown man or a Chinese man or an Indian man that has the same kind of business, they will always support them first. And some people will make the argument that, well, you know, the Chinese, the Indian, the whatever is cheaper. But how much cheaper is cheaper? You know, a $5, a $10, so forth. But yet these are the same people that get up every single day and say that white and brown people are leading or are dictating the direction of the economy. This further goes into criminality. As soon as a black man set up a storefront in Jamaica, there comes a local neighborhood extortionist with him hand out, expecting to get something from something that he never helped build. Yet, the same extortionists will not approach Mr. Azan, Mr. Azar, Mr. Eddie, any of those big name brand names. And I'm sure there's somebody making the argument that these new Chinese that are in Jamaica now, they're being extorted as well. Fine, yes, they're being extorted. They're being extorted because, as mentioned, they're the new Chinese. They're the ones who just started setting up their businesses. They haven't gotten to a level where they have impact on how society operates. When you look on the old Chinese, tell me where you see a local extortionist bothering Mr. Lee, who has been here for 60, 80 years. Tell me where your local extortionist is going to NCB and extorting Mr. Lee Chin. Tell me where your local extortionist is going to the Hendricksons that own Pegasus and National and all those other big businesses that operate in Jamaica that are of Chinese descent. Maybe it is happening and I'm just naive to the situation. But as somebody who has known people that has started and operated business in Jamaica, as soon as a black person starts business in Jamaica, they're either harassed by criminals or corrupt officials in the government. The Jamaican coat of arms has told one of the biggest lies to Jamaican people that they have hugged up for many years since independence as a true statement. It is a facade. Jamaica is a very weird place. On the outside, high-class Jamaicans of non-black descent will be seen interacting with the black population at parties, at events, even going to the same schools and playing together and growing up in class of Jamaica. However, when it comes to actually penetrating that society, even if you are a Jamaican billionaire, trillionaire, as a black person, you will never be able to intermarry or intertwine with their family. They will never ever allow that. They always marry with each other. They will never allow a black person, no matter how rich, no matter how successful, to join the ranks of their family and live up to the Jamaican motto of becoming one people. Because, as mentioned before, it is a facade, you know? The idea that we are as a people, we are as one. I mean, maybe the black Jamaican populace thinks that way, but the ruling class of Jamaica doesn't think this way. There are parties in Jamaica happening where there's not even one black person at those parties. There are events happening in Jamaica, weddings, funerals, etc., where there's not one black person in attendance. But Jamaican black people will always take the pat on the head and say, well, Mr. Azan treat me good, and Mr. Stewart treat me good, them give me a bonus. And Jamaican people will fight tooth and nail for these people, and die for these people, and at the drop of a hat, these people will let you go without notice. Some of the most blatant exploitation happen in the hotel industry. There'll be another video on that one day. Jamaica is a whole slave colony, and we don't even realize it. Until next time.